I spent much of my early 20s either intoxicated or deeply depressed, which is to say, I experienced my life then in an extremely emotional way, feeling deeply and present in those deep feelings. An excerpt of a memoir I might write if I live long enough to be old. I think between age 21 to 29 is a phase of hustle, suffering, smiling, toiling, depression, overthinking, wondering whether you'll achieve your goals and making it in life. 90s babies, hope y'all alright, it will be okay someday. Hang in there, don't lose hope. You don't have to be married by the time you're 30. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to have kids. You don't have to have the same things that your friends do. You don't have to do anything except live in a way that is authentically you. Somebody quotes on Twitter and says, I refuse to be 25 plus trying to find my way, and somebody responds, you're in for a big surprise, boo. Don't let the internet rush you. Nobody is posting their failures. Where did we get this idea that by 25 we'd all be making six figures with cars, condos and homes? Where did it come from? Good morning guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for being here. So usually if I'm posting things that cheesy and easy and things that I've tried in products and beauty and blogs and things that are not life, and I have been feeling that maybe I haven't been staying true to myself, and I'll explain to you why. You see, my motto for my blog, or what I believe in, or if I was to be told a mission or a vision for my blog, then it would be, or my blogs, like the brand My Naturawl, it would be that I want to inspire, I want to motivate, I want to transform, to entertain, and to educate. Like, that's what the belief system of everything that I've been doing is. But the problem is, with that kind of a belief system, there's not many people who want to watch or to read what you're writing or to hear what you have to say. People want to watch pranks, they want to read about drama, they want you to hate on somebody, they want you to have drama, they want, like, there's just a lot more things that I think, in my own, way of thinking, is vanity. But that's what people like. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't like keeping up with the Kardashians, or I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't like love and hip-hop. We all like drama. So I had started something called Tea Time with My Naturawl, and I think I'm gonna continue with it. Obviously my goal is to have it maybe once a week, where I can either speak on a topic that I think is so heavily on me, or I'm so convicted to speak about, or I can bring in guests who you guys can learn from, just something that is interesting. And of course there'll be a cup of tea. I'm using the Almond Creamery mug. I got this last year from the Almond Creamery brand, and I absolutely love this cup. It's one of my favorites. Those quotes that I've just read about are about people in their 20s, people who are supposed to be doing something but are technically not doing anything. I mean, that's just what it feels like. It's like you've had a whole decade of learning how to use the toilet, learning how to speak, learning how to behave around people, learning your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s. You've had a whole decade to just learn the basics of life. And then you have another decade, so that's the age between 1 and 10. And then you have another decade of 11 to 20, where it's all about puberty and boys and who likes me and who doesn't like me, and figuring out your emotions and your hormones and everything. And you have a whole 10 years to figure that all out. And then you get to 20 and bam, life just hits you straight on. You realize that, okay, you're supposed to go to college and you're supposed to get a degree. First of all, you're supposed to get onto the right degree, because, oh dear, you get the wrong one. Then it becomes a problem and you get depressed. So if you don't get depressed and you quit it, it's just a mess. Just in college. In college, you meet different kinds of people, you meet different kinds of characters. You find like life is a whole different ball game. You're dealing with all this freedom that you just didn't have, when you were much younger. And then suddenly you finish a degree and you have to look for a job, and you have to learn about the workspace. When you get to the workplace, you're looking at your friends and you're looking at other people, and you're like, dang, by 25 they had a car and they had a house and they had this, and they're buying pieces of land and they're doing all these crazy things. And I'm talking so quickly because that's what it feels like. It feels like it's a race. Then, as if that's not enough, people expect you to get married and to have children and to be in a stable relationship and to do this and that. And every time you meet with somebody, I can bet you, if it's not people asking you questions about your career that you don't really, quite frankly, don't want to answer, or about your schoolwork, or about your love life, or about your children, or why you're not having children, or why do you want to wait until you're 30? Like, people keep asking you all these questions, and you realize you have a decade to do so much. Like, there's so much to do and so much that is expected of you in such a short period of time. And then what makes it worse is we are not talking about these things. The people in their 30s look at us who in their 20s and they're like, those kids, those millennials, they don't talk about being in your 20s. They don't talk about the troubles that come with it, the confusion, the loneliness especially when you're feeling so alone in the struggle, and then you go onto Twitter and you realize, oh well, guess what, there's a couple of others. And I wish we'd talk more about this. There was a time I was having a really hard time. I don't want to use the D word, but it was really difficult. But I meant depression, but you get the point. It was really difficult, and one thing I know this is gonna sound so stupid, but one thing that pulled me out of the situation was YouTube. I would watch certain YouTubers and I would feel inspired. The worst days of my life would be me trying to get up and me trying to do things, and I would just be like, I cannot do this. And then I would watch a person who I like or somebody who inspires me, and they would say one or two things that would make me feel like, hey, I got this, I can do today. Hey mother, let's get up and let's get the day. And that's the effect that YouTube used to give me, and blogs, like blogging and YouTube. And that's actually what inspired me to start. Like, I was so inspired by a couple of people. Maybe if you guys are interested one day I can tell you who, but I was inspired by a couple of people who made me feel like, you know what, I got this. And I wanted to do the same for other people. So that's where the whole blogging and the whole YouTube thing started. It came from a point where I was genuinely depressed, and the only thing, the outlet, like for me, the thing that gave me that hope was, oh, if I write this blog post, then I'm gonna make somebody else feel better. So for me, that's what it's always been. It's always been something, and that's why I hold it so near and dear to me. It's always been something that I hold so close to me, because I know how much it has helped me. And I would love if I used the things that made me better, make other people better. I don't know if that makes sense. And so I would like to reintroduce this segment called Tea Time with my Naturawl, where I'll be having my cup of tea, not necessarily to sip on, you know, some juicy tea and gossip, but to talk about things that are difficult, things in life that maybe people are not able to speak about, maybe things that I'm not able to speak about, and I literally need a cup of tea to actually speak about them. Things, issues, real issues, you know, depression, relationships, weight, you know, stereotypes, whatever topic that comes my way that is difficult, or something that I see is rampant at that particular time, is what I would want to have a discussion. Or things that are heavy in my heart, you know, things that I've been burdened with. And for me, this one thing that has burdened me so far of late is this thing of being a 20-something year old struggles, 20-something year old life. 20-something year old life is not what you thought it was supposed to be. That's what I want to talk about. And the quotes that I read in the beginning are things that I actually found from Twitter. And I realized, like, hey, this is a big deal. Like, everybody is consoling themselves through Twitter. Like, hey, I'm gonna tweet this, because, you know, sometimes when you tweet things, you're actually doing it for yourself, like the quotes and everything, the things that you've learned and things that you're using to encourage yourself. And so I went to Twitter and I realized this is a problem. Like, we are all struggling. I went through a difficult time and I was struggling and I felt alone. And I'm not lying to you, the loneliness is what killed me the most. Not the fact that, hey, I'm going through this difficult thing, but it was more like, why me? Why am I the only one going through this? Why does so and so look so put together? Why is their life so perfect, and why is mine seeming so miserable? And then you talk to so and you realize they're just as miserable, they just know how to keep it together. And it used to frustrate me so much. And for me, the only solution about this thing the only thing that I think is a solution to this loneliness, I mean, you have to go through the motions of life. You have to go through those struggles of life. There's nothing that's gonna change the fact that you have to go through them. But wouldn't it be easier if you knew that somebody else is going through it? And I'm not talking about it in a sadistic kind of way. I'm saying it like, hey, so-and-so is going through this, but hey, she's pulling through. Or so-and-so went through this and she's pulling through this. Wouldn't it be easier if we all talked about what we're going through, like the struggles that we're going through, whether it be in relationships or in our careers, in our personal, in our friendship? Basically, all I want to do is do that. First of all, my focus and my hope and my goal is that I can be able to reach the 20-something people. My hope is that I can be able to inspire somebody. I can be able to tell somebody like, hey, you got this. You can be able to get out of bed today. You got this. You're gonna do this, and everything is gonna be all right. I pray that my blog, my brand, my vlog, my YouTube gets to that point where somebody comes here for inspiration. So I'm gonna be having tea time with my Naturawl. The purpose of this video was to show you that this is a problem. I want to tell you that you're not alone. You're not doing this alone. We're all in this together, and I wish more people talked about it. I would like to talk about factors, or many issues that make us 20 somethings feel like life is just a blur. I would like to have those topics in this segment. So the purpose of this video was to tell you you're good, and to tell you that I'm going to be reviving the tea time with my natural. I don't think there's so much I had to say in this other than, guys, I don't know what to tell you, because I'm going through it, you're going through it, she's going through it. Unless I sit down and tell you stories of people, real life stories of people, and they can explain to you about things, or you can be inspired by their stories, you can be motivated and educated and transformed by their stories. That's the hope for this. As for me, like, if I just have one person who comes here and gets inspired every single time I put up a video about inspiration or something to that effect, I know that I will have achieved and I will have done what I need to do on this space. Today I had rooibos tea. Let me show you guys. I was having some rooibos tea. I will also be reviewing tea in tea time with my natural, because I have a stack of different kinds of teas. Like, I have teas for different moods. Usually if I want something warm and makes me feel nice and doesn't keep me awake, then I go for this rooibos tea. So my favorite brand is the Woolworths brand rooibos tea. It's organic and everything. My fave. I love it. So yeah, they say it's a refreshingly sweet, full-bodied, natural, caffeine-free tea. I agree. Actually, this is so true. It is naturally sweet. It's not sweet. I don't put honey or anything in my tea. I just like it straight up. So I just put my tea bag and I'll put my hot water, and that's it. I don't put lemon, nothing. I just like it like that. And it is full-bodied. It is full-bodied. It feels like it doesn't feel like you're drinking water. It feels like there's a bit of density in there. So yeah, it's nice, naturally caffeine-free, and tastes amazing. I would like you guys to do me a favor, and down below, please tell me topics that you'd like me to talk about, things you'd like me to talk about. Topics, I mean, it can be anything. I'm not talking about like about my life, but things in general. If there are people who you would like me to interview, because I plan on bringing people to interview, let me know who you'd like me to have here. I'm sorry for going on a rant. I don't know if this video is all over the place. I hope not, but if it is, please forgive me. I'm gonna work on this. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, bye bye.